everyone. This is Victor Lund from the Wave Group. Welcome to today's webinar. We've invited CoreLogic to join us here today. They're going to talk to us a little bit about a new program that you may have heard of if you were at the recent CMLS meetings, but it's called the Alliance Network. It's a network of technology applications that integrate nicely with CoreLogic and allow MLSs to remain the center of attention in delivering products and services to their subscribers. I have with me today Kevin Greene and Troy Rech, and I'm going to introduce them in just a minute. But before we get started, I just want to talk to you a little bit about the GoToWebinar control panel. So Kevin, if you can move to the next screen. So if you look over on the right-hand side down below webcam, there's a questions dialog box. If you expand that dialog box, you can put in a question as we're going through today's presentation. And we'll get those questions answered to you at the end of today's webinar. So today's webinar should have a presentation that's going to last about 45 minutes that should tell you about the program, why CoreLogic is doing it, how it could impact your MLS. If you want to flip to the next screen, I'll just talk about the panelists. I'm Victor Lund, and I'm with the Wave Group. We're a consulting firm. We work with MLSs across the nation, mostly the largest MLSs. We also have we provide advisory services to brokerages and technology companies and things like that. So we do quite a bit in the real estate industry. We've been doing it for a couple of decades. And one of the things that we always try to keep our eye on is any kind of sea change that's happening in terms of that may impact our client's business. And certainly when a company like CoreLogic launches a program that could have this much impact on our industry, we want to be able to capture the information about why they're doing it, how it could accrete value to MLSs across the country. And we try to get this information firsthand. So we have with us today Kevin Greene. He's a seasoned executive within the real estate industry, and he's been focused on developing what they call their Alliance Network at CoreLogic. And he works on the relationship that exists between CoreLogic and the technology solutions that run on their platforms. And some of these technology solutions run on Matrix, the primary MLS system of CoreLogic. Some work through the Clarity dashboard, product that you may be familiar with. And we're also going to hear from Troy Rech, and he's going to be talking about what the role is of the CoreLogic sales, or they call them not sales representative, they call them, what do you call them, Troy?
Account executives. Account
executives, sorry about that. But he'll be talking a little bit about what MLSs should expect to hear from their account executives about this program. So with that, I'd like to introduce Kevin. Kevin, why don't you tell us a little bit about what it is?
Thanks, Victor. I appreciate that. So there's been a lot of questions about what CoreLogic is doing and teaming up with some of the established vendors out there, as well as some of the really cool upstarts in curating, as the title of the webinar goes, curating different technology. And by doing so, it is allowing us to focus on our core platforms of Matrix, Realist, the Clarity dashboard, and Trestle, while providing a network of product and services to allow you to customize your offering to fit the needs of each market. And I kind of liken it to creating your own custom car. As a kid, I would go into the dealerships and take home the brochures and dream about my Ford Mustang or Porsche 911. And now it's kind of cool that you can go on their websites and play around with all the options out there to see what you're building. And that's kind of an analogy that I like to use because it shows what we're trying to do here at CoreLogic, utilizing our platforms and finding different established and new technology vendors out there where you can piece together and create that solution that fits your market. I'm really excited about doing that. So, as the video shows, as it breaks right through there, Matrix is our core solution. It's the high performance engine that is our flagship product and the premier MLS system accessed by over 800,000 agents on a daily basis as the key tool they need to complete their jobs. And the chassis, as I like to call it, is Realist, and it's that underlying rich property record data that CoreLogic is known for, that agents are relying on to provide an accurate picture of the market, as well as to help them farm their area. Clarity dashboard is a pretty simple one, as you can see from an analogy standpoint, but it's really where you're going to go for your single sign-on, but it's really the security system making sure that the right driver has access to all the products and services that you're providing your members. And Trestle, our newest platform, as data access is so important, and Trestle makes sure that the exhaust data is the correct data and it's the right format going to the right person. And then with Trestle Defender, it gives you that 1-2 punch that you need to be able to manage all your data solutions as far as getting it for your brokers and the vendors in your the vendors that are utilizing your services in your marketplace. So with that, as you can see, by creating an alliance network, it's allowing us to focus more on our core solutions of Matrix, Realist, Clarity, and Trestle, and curating the network of products and services who are in turn focused on providing the best in breed product or service and integrating it with our platforms. So I'd like to introduce a couple of our alliance network members and talk a little bit about what they provide and how we see that integrated and helping you in your markets. I know a lot of you have probably heard Kevin Foreman speak at NREX. He's awesome to hear. This is a great example of taking a non-real estate specific product and bringing it into our industry. NREX provides data to a host of other industries. As you've seen Kevin speak, from the fast food industry to the shipping industry, etc. But it makes perfect sense for ours. Price, school, location. Those are three of the main things people are researching when looking for a home. I don't know about you. I've moved 3 times in the last 2 years, and being able to calculate how long it takes to get from school or work, taking my daughter to swim practice or daycare, all from your home. NREX is a great tool, and especially in these large metropolitan markets, but also small markets too, when trying to figure out if you're not familiar with the area of where to go. And the NREX Drive Time solution is a good example of bringing something from other industries into our own. With that said, we also offer our new partner with Prospects. They also have a CRM alternative as well as a mobile platform called MLS Touch here in the United States. And this is a good example of bringing something that is working well in Canada into our U.S. markets. Prospects and MLS Touch are tightly integrated in the Quebec market, where they found great value in that integration. And so we have been examining why and how they find the value in it and how it's helping the agents and looking to bring that tight integration and replicating that experience for your agents in your markets, should you choose to utilize their CRM and or their mobile solution. And Charles Druin has done a great job. It's a company that's over 10 years old, so it's a very good established company in Canada, and excited about bringing them more into the United States market. Elm Street Technology is a broker website platform. Here's an example of someone providing the latest, broker and agent website platform. The platform is a little over a year old, utilizing some of the completely responsive design platform that is tightly integrated with social media. And it's using the latest in technologies as well as the SEO algorithms to give your brokers and agents a great web presence. We all know that agents are looking for alternatives as far as showing, having their own web presence. And we feel that Elm Street does a very good job with their Elevate and Boss platform of doing that. MLS Consumer Portal, this is one that's always near and dear to my heart as a former broker, and wanting to have a local area where where you're accessing to those buyers and sellers that are not ready to commit to an agent yet, but really want to have that local knowledge of understanding where to go. And Homes.com's Fusion portal, leverages the SEO power of Homes.com, giving your members that top of the funnel lead, along with broker and agent dashboards to help manage, where those leads flow, which is very important. Every brokerage, has different lead routing rules, and their solution helps you manage that. And this local portal is a great tool to compete with those national portals when buyers and sellers are at their initial phase of looking for a home. as well as promoting open houses in your network. 15 years ago, everybody was buying a newspaper on Saturday and Sunday looking for those open houses, and having a good local MLS portal to promote open houses is I think, a key service to brokers and agents. This is currently installed at the Tulsa MLS, as well as it's soon to be installed and launched at Hilton Head, as well as statewide MLS Rhode Island. And, I think a lot of people on this call know Andy Woolley, Michael Hayes, and Rick Sherwood, and they do a really good job over at homes.com and have been a very friendly company to the industry for many years. We also have showing services. Everybody knows, having a central, no pun intended, having a central showing service is really makes life a lot easier for brokers and agents, as well as for their sellers that they're trying to coordinate showing services. And CSS is a good example of a well-established company. They're over 20 years old, but we're primarily focused on the brokers. And by offering an MLS solution, CSS is providing a better experience for those brokers and agents in your market, and allowing an easy solution to schedule those showings between agents and sellers. So we're really excited about CSS. They've been an Alliance Network member here for a little over a year, and seeing some great traction of what they're able to accomplish. Transaction management, which is really, Instinet Solutions has recently acquired by Lone Wolf, but they've been in the game for over 15 years. Their transaction management, document management, e-signature, listing upload products are seamlessly integrated into the Matrix platform, providing a great user experience for your members. They also have forms in most states, and Joe Kazoon and Steve Mapes are two other industry veterans that are really knowledgeable as far as how to create and put together the right package to serve your members, as well as those integration points that mentioning, to make the workflow for your agents and brokers much, much easier. Box MLS. Box MLS is a great example, again, of finding a new company that is doing some cutting edge things and helping that company take their solution nationwide. Box MLS provides a modern, consumer-like search experience on top of the MLS solution. This can be helpful in markets that have different MLS systems, like the Bay Area, where this San Francisco-based company sought out to solve their problem of searching in Matrix, Paragon, Rapatoni. This company was founded by a broker that was having these issues and trying to access multiple MLS systems and providing hot sheets and search experience for his consumers. And this product merges a consumer experience with what the agent is searching, all while using the full MLS database and fields. So unlike an IDX search, a nationwide IDX search that has limited field sets, Box MLS really dives in and creates that custom solution and has all those unique local fields that if you allow, be displayed and search upon by both the agent and the consumer. Savvy Card is another great one from an IDX. It falls into our IDX agent and property web services. Savvy is like Box MLS solving a need in the Bay Area. Savvy Card is a Florida-based company that has been very successful in the Miami, Jacksonville, and Space Coast market. They provide what I personally like to call IDX 2.0. Back 10, 15 years ago, when you needed to provide an IDX solution, part of the issue was always having a frameable IDX and then finding a website or building a website to host that. Savvy is a responsive design agent card that is branded for the agent and easily shared onto someone's smartphone, allowing a client to search for properties right there on their phone and branded for the agent like an IDX. They also provide property Savvy cards that can be easily shared through social media. Giving Savvy's unique formula also provides amazing SEO value to your agents. If you ever get a chance to see one, a customer said that they should put in a phone number and you see how fast it can go and where it is located on a Google search. Instead of all those reverse search numbers, typically a Savvy card will come up on top. We installed it into Triad in June of this year, and they already have well over 30% usage of the product. It's been a very good success, and David Etheridge and Ruth O'Leary at Savvy Card have been great to work with and really help your agents being able to promote their products and services. Announce My Listing and Move provides a quick and simple solution to promote a property that's just launched in a market, as well as Property Panorama. Mike Barnett is another established veteran and has been a long-time network partner, and they have provided an easy way to display photos of the property, and now they're recently doing aerial drone services, so it's a really exciting time over at Property Panorama. So as I introduce these companies and their products and services, you may see some overlap, and that is really by design. We realize that each of your markets are different. You know, everybody always says that real estate is local, and your markets are very different. Than a market in California is different than a market in Texas, and is a different market here in North Carolina. And therefore, you need to be able to provide a different set of products and services to better serve those needs and wants of the members you serve. We at CoreLogic want to provide you with the options to create your own customized solutions that fit in that market. And Troy is going to talk a little bit about what our account executives can do as far as helping you find out what that customized solution can be. Troy?
Yeah, Troy, I muted you. Sorry about that. We heard from some of the people that that there was a little bit of an echo. So while we allow you to unmute, I do want to remind the attendees today that if you have questions for Kevin or Troy, by all means, put them in the questions dialog box and we'll get them answered. So Troy, welcome. Thanks for coming. And I wanted you to kind of take your perspective as somebody who, you know, manages all the people that are working with MLSs day to day on, you know, how MLSs can learn about this program, what they should expect to hear from their account executives and things like that. So let me unmute you. There you go. Hello, Troy.
Well, hello, and I appreciate that the feedback was there was an echo. It wasn't. I was just doing all this breathing and yelling, and because I muted myself at one point in time to yell at my dog. So, yeah, and thanks for that. And following up on Kevin's talk about the various partners, you know, the first word on the screen is vetting, and from our perspective, we've heard loud and clear. I came over with the Clarity acquisition over a year ago, and I continue to hear loud and clear from our various MLS customers that you guys get inquiries every single day, day in, day out, week in, week out from vendors who just want to sell stuff to your members. If they integrated with your platforms, your members would be overjoyed, happy, and it takes a tremendous amount of time for you to vet it out, to see if this is a viable business, you know, asking for referrals, reaching out to your colleagues. We've taken over, as part of this alliance network, we've taken over that process for you. So and just taking a step back, it's not going to slow down. You know, there was 5 years ago, something like $2 billion was spent on technology vendors in this vertical, the real estate vertical. This year, it's something over $7 billion. Next year, we're forecasting it to be $9 billion. So there's a tremendous amount of noise in the marketplace. And we feel like we're very, very well positioned as your partner to help eliminate some of that noise, to help really vet those partners. And when I say vet, you know, we go in, we validate their business model, we review their go-to-market strategy, and we work to really understand how their technology and their technology direction is better going to help you serve your end users. That's in a nutshell what we see vetting as, and deciding whether or not we want to bring them in as part of the alliance network. And then from there, it's our perspective is negotiating on your behalf, negotiating on the behalf of the 1.2 million agents that we serve every single day. You know, so we're able to bring a volume that's not as available to somebody who's negotiating for a much smaller volume. We have most favored nation pricing. We extend that pricing to you folks. And we're very, very aggressive about the fact that we want to ensure that this technology that we're bringing to you is available across a wide variety of our customers. And then the last piece, well, and then also, I guess, on the negotiating side as well, is that it creates a means for you to negotiate with us. We're putting together more and more attractive bundles of products as we see opportunities to help build that customized car. You don't have to buy it a la carte, piece by piece, and try to negotiate with each vendor on how it's going to work together. We're going to bring that to you as a bundle and negotiate the terms around that. And then lastly, from a support standpoint, our goal is for our partners and the Alliance Network to succeed. And what I mean by that is they receive tight integration with our platforms, whether that's the Clarity platform, whether that's the Matrix platform. We also are really oriented around having them have access to our resources from a technology standpoint. If stuff breaks, we're right on it to help fix it from a partnership standpoint. And then as we need to make changes and do a better job of integrating in a different way to better serve the end users, those conversations really, really flow every single day. I'll give you an example of one of those would be on the INRIX drive time. We've had INRIX deployed for a year or two out there, and that was phase A. Phase B is to take a step back and see if there's different ways that agents can embed that drive time searching into a map search, into something that's much more integrated with the user interface than it's been in the past. So just an example of what we're doing to help those partners better succeed and really help drive adoption. On their side, the goal from the partners and what they can expect is they can expect to leverage my team, the account executive team, to have these conversations with you folks as part of a much bigger conversation about where you're driving to, what your goals are. Are you growing? Are you organically growing? What markets do you serve? What's not in your technology stack? What will your brokers let you do and not do? There's a variety of MLSs out there that the brokers say, I just want dial tone from you folks. And then there's also MLSs out there that the brokers are looking for you to provide the full technology stack. And each one of my account executives is uniquely positioned to help have those conversations with you and help develop the strategy for the remainder of 2018, 2019, and beyond. The team is versed in the marketplace. We spend a tremendous amount of time talking about what's happening, whether that's what's happening with these new platform companies out there like Compass and not new, but Redfin, EXP, et cetera, and how that affects the MLS business. We're out there talking about competitive threats all the time as well. And we're well versed in the success stories of your peers. So I think that makes us really unique from a size standpoint of being able to help everybody on this call continue to use it's not a cliche, it's a great term actually, of make the market and really help us succeed as an MLS industry. That's our focus, that's our passion. That's what I get up and wake up every morning thinking about is how to make this industry better. So if you haven't had that conversation with your account executive, or I guess the thing is, if you don't know who your account executive is, then that's me. I'm your account executive, or Kevin Greene's your account executive. Reach out to me right away. We can have those discussions. If you want to learn more about this Alliance Network, you want to continue to pay attention to what's happening with us as we add partners to the network, CoreLogic.com/real estate is a very good way to get passive information about what we're doing. So any questions at this point in time, Kevin and I are here to entertain them. And that's kind of where we are at this point.
Excellent. So yeah, let's move on to the questions period. We do have a couple questions that came in, and thank you guys for giving that introduction, Kevin, Troy. You guys, you clearly display what your knowledge of our industry when you talk. It makes a difference. And I, from our perspective at Wave Group, we've seen a lot of these types of ideas kind of bubble up in the industry. We've seen companies like MLS listings and RE Colorado, MLSs that have really created a center of excellence around trying to curate a bunch of really valuable services for their brokers and their agents that make them more effective in the industry and negotiate, as you said, some better terms than people would pay on their own if they went directly to these companies. And they've certainly been successful. And I think you've played a lot off the success of what you guys have learned through Clarity in terms of being able to provide integrated solutions that really make that really leverage the MLS as the center of a real estate agent or broker's business, where they can go and add additional features or service that aren't core to the MLS to make them more productive and to sell more real estate. Troy, can you just talk a little bit about how the Alliance Network came about? I think this came out of your user group meetings, that your MLSs were trying to get you guys to build more of an environment where more of these companies could join in.
Sorry, I muted myself. So, I'm gonna actually have Kevin address that one, because Kevin is the godfather of the Alliance Network. So he was brought in a year before I was, and really sat down with Chris Bennett, who is the head of our business unit within CoreLogic, and helped define how that program was launched. So I'm going to mute me, and he can unmute him, and have a conversation about how that came to be.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, you're unmuted.
Hello?
You're good to go.
Oh.
Yep. Go ahead.
So, thanks, Troy. Yeah, many of our customers were, finding different products and wanting to get tighter integration, and then talking to other, hey, I found this great thing. Let's put it into another one, and talking at user groups. And we realized, there's something that we can provide a better integration experience for everybody if we get in, help find these vendors out there as well, and have that relationship directly with that vendor, where we can get it on a whiteboard and really work together to provide a better fit and a better solution and a better experience for your agents and brokers. And so that's really the focus and goal, the number one goal of the network. But then as we kept going along, and as Troy explained, the vetting and the negotiating of that is a natural progression and to being able to help you as somebody that promoted products to MLSs and sitting in technology committee meetings, etc. We know how many products come through your doors. Well, we get calls all the time. I probably review 4 to 5 different companies a week of people asking about products and services in CoreLogic. So really spend a lot of time vetting the different companies there. And then again, as Troy mentioned, negotiation and being able to get better pricing for you overall, and then as well as being able to bundle that into your products, to your overall offering, and being able, it was a natural progression to be able to do that in a nice package and service for our clients and our true partners, the MLSs.
So we've seen different topics kind of pick up lately. One of the more interesting topics that we've seen emerge over the last, say, 18 months has been this whole idea of MLS of choice. And you guys recently showed how the Alliance Network works with the integration of Box MLS. Can you just tell us how that came about and how you think that benefits MLSs to make them better service providers to the agents and brokers?
Absolutely, Victor. That's, MLS of choice, front end of choice, alternative search. Those have been topics of conversation for about the last 3 or 4 years in our industry. And, how is that going to work and where is that going to go? And I was actively looking for someone to do that with for the last 2 years, and was quietly watching Box MLS be very successful in the Bay Area and being able to layer on their alternative search over multiple MLS systems and providing a great user experience for their, not only their agents, but their client collaboration piece of being able to also provide that experience to the customers that those agents serve. And it's a good example of us taking the time of watching a young company grow, you know, and making sure that they are the right fit, and then fitting a need that has been, you know, been talked about, as I said, for the last 3 or 4 years within the industry of looking to have an alternative search or front end for your agents and brokers to be able to use.
So that product is an example of something that kind of solves two problems that we see in the industry. I was talking with Lennox Scott from John L. Scott the other day, and his company is, you know, tied to 17 MLSs, and hell be damned before those 17 MLSs ever merge into one through consolidation. But in terms of his company to be able to provide a unique and centralized MLS experience for all of his agents, a product like Box MLS solves a lot of problems for him because he spans so many markets. But I think on the other side of that, what you observed with the way Box MLS has kind of floated over the top of the 4 or 5 MLSs in the Bay Area is that it really solidifies the core services of each of those MLSs without causing this disturbance in the marketplace where agents and brokers have to belong to all 4 of them in order to get their business done. I mean, it's kind of a weird thing, but we've noticed, like, if you're selling a property in San Francisco as a consumer, you believe that your buyer's coming from Marin or the East Bay or San Jose, not from San Francisco. So you expect your agent to have the listing in all the markets, and they're doing a lot with data sharing and other things to facilitate that, so you're not entering the listing like four times. Similarly, if they're in Marin or they're in the East Bay, they think that the person who's going to buy their home is a family that wants to move out of San Francisco. It's crazy stuff. But I mean, I can see how, you know, pulling in a partner like Box MLS into the Alliance network kind of solves those problems on a variety of scale, but it also keeps the MLS in the center of the conversation as a system or as a solution provider. And then CoreLogic's partnership brings that system integration and that to it to make it all work. So bravo on that. One of the other things that I wanted to ask, it says, the question says, how does CoreLogic support licensing? It looks like licensing contracts with the vendors. So do the MLSs, do they have contracts directly with each of the vendors that are part of the Alliance network, or does CoreLogic facilitate that licensing agreement once so they don't have to go through all of the legal work to license a vendor?
We facilitate all of that only one time directly through the Alliance network member. So the member, we have that, and we provide an addendum to one of our agreements that helps us as a authorized reseller, for an easier way to think about it, of having that direct relationship with us as far as having that added to your agreement. And as Troy said, that gives power for you from a negotiation standpoint as well as a deal partner.
Excellent. Well, I know that everybody is saddling up their horses to head to Boston for the National Association of Realtors Convention. You guys have a booth there. People can stop by. They can set meetings with your account representatives or you guys to talk about this. Any other things you have going on that people should know about before we tie it up? Kevin?
Just, hey,
sorry, I was on mute.
I'll jump in. And again, just circling back to, I know that there's we're putting 30 some people on the ground in Boston. I'm hoping that this hotel worker strike thing is all resolved before I get to the Marriott. We'll see how that goes. You have Kevin and my contact information here. If you need to reach out to your account executive, you can. If you need to reach out to either one of us, you can. More than happy to spend time. If you'd like to stop by the booth, drop a card, do whatever. You know, there's pretty much walking down the street, you should be able to run into a CoreLogic employee. Best NAR ever.
Excellent. Well, you guys did a great job. I really appreciate you coming here today. I know that the MLS is on the call as they focus on their strategic planning for 2019, are looking for ways to continue to add value, and certainly the Alliance Network looks like a solid opportunity to investigate. So with that, we will we'll shut it down early, and if anybody has any questions, reach out to me, Victor Lund, Victor at Wave Group, or the gentlemen that were generous enough to spend their time talking to you today. So thank you very much. I appreciate everyone, and we'll get a copy of this out to everyone who attended today. We'll give you a video and all that stuff, and we'll see you in Boston. Thank you.
Thanks, Victor.